What would be your biggest culture shock?
Punctuality. Lithuanian, everything starts on time. You need to work hard. You need to think for yourself. Oh, I'm coming for a PhD. But no, that's not how it works.
Best Lithuanian word?
Merely pour the water or the water goes back into the ecosystem, the natural. That's a big lie. You get to learn that people want to help you. Lithuania was cheap and you can do stuff. We have bigger problems now. We have antibiotics, we have herbicides, we have fertilizers, we have paracetamol.
Coffee or water during late night? Oh, you didn't even let me finish it. Welcome to CampusVerse at KTU podcast. Today we are sitting down with people who are shaped or shape our academic environment. My name is Yigit, I'm your Study at KTU Ambassador, and today we meet Maria, a true believer and a passionate researcher who underlines the sustainable future comes with small actions. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Yigit. How are you?
I'm doing perfect as well. Moved from Nigeria to Kaunas in 2021. What would be your biggest culture shock?
Punctuality. And I say this as someone who comes from a country who lives under the belief of African time. Lithuanian bosses, Lithuanian masses, Lithuanian everything starts on time. There is no, we're waiting for 5 minutes or we're extending.
When I say the word water, what's the first thing that springs to mind?
Treatment.
Treatment?
Yes, and I know that sounds very funny because of what I'm studying, but treatment. And there are various types of treatment that come with like water, drinking water, industrial water, agricultural water, all the various type of water has different types of treatment. So yes, treatment. Oh, when we pour the water or the water goes back into the ecosystem, the natural treatment systems of the world will clean the water. That's a big lie. I've heard that said like way too many times, and I had to question the mentality of that person, especially because we did like just a mini water testing at home from you see, Nigeria is different, so don't mind what I'm saying, from the tank, and we found out that the levels of chemicals and all of that had increased in just a 1 year period.
1 year period?
Yes, and so you don't see these things because you believe, oh, by the time it goes back into the water table, it will go through the sand and the gravel that will help it to get treated. But that's not how it works. We have bigger problems now. We have antibiotics, we have herbicides, we have fertilizers, we have paracetamol. We have painkillers. We have things that cause issues. And yes, those issues they're not big at once, but steadily over the course of the years, things change. And when those things change, you don't see the changes immediately until like you as a person decide, oh, let's check how that thing works. And then you see that something has changed.
We often hear about polluted water, but your work specifically targets agricultural water.
Yes.
Why is this particular type of pollution a threat?
70% of the world is supposedly water. And out of that 70%, if I'm not wrong, only 30% is about usable water, which means that you have 30% of water for everything, industrial, domestic, agricultural, everything. Now, most countries have been able to target treating their domestic water so that water keeps running back into the system. But you see, with agricultural water, there is they take water from the water table quite frequently, which means that the water that is polluted through and goes into the rivers or lakes through erosion is quite literally just going. There's no treatment, there's nothing. And if you come from Nigeria like I do, you understand that these things which are found in agricultural systems or agricultural wastewater, like antibiotics, like livestock matter, like even particulate matter, they cause issues, food-wise, health-wise, everything. And so it is very important to treat agricultural water because nitrates, phosphates are very terrible to the ocean, to the rivers, to the lakes, to the fish that we eat. And we haven't even talked about like the fertilizers. We haven't even talked about how bad antibiotics is for the system. There's just a lot of things that It's very important too.
If you had to pick one to study for the rest of your career, there is a lake, a river, an ocean, or a glacier.
A glacier.
A glacier?
Yes.
Can you elaborate why?
Definitely. So a glacier is a body of water that keeps moving. And I'm going to relate this to why I'm studying agricultural wastewater treatment.
Okay.
You see, a glacier has particulate matter, it has water particles, it has everything in that, encased in that ice. Let's put it like that. Agricultural water has all of that encased and more. And I know that I said only 30% of water is usable, but agricultural water takes up 70% of that 30%. And a glacier is 69%. Like, I don't think I need to explain more. In terms of like, they are quite literally the same in terms of like how they affect water systems and all of that. So yeah.
Then let's move on from water treatment to your study ethics. What's the most inspiring part of being a researcher?
Oh, the freedom. I know that is not totally correct, but the freedom. I can wake up today and say, oh, this is not moving the way I like. Let's branch a bit and change stuff and make sure that this makes sense the way we think it should. The freedom of choosing your research, of doing your research, of how you do your research, of the results you get from your research, of where you publish your research, of who you actually tell or, broadcast this research to. It's the freedom. And as much as I don't like to say it, I'm not necessarily somebody who thinks they can work effectively having other people control my thinking, my workspace and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I have a supervisor who has to do that, but you have some sort of freedom as a PhD student to be able to design how your research is as a researcher. Regardless.
I see. Speaking of big players and speaking of supervisors, I would like to ask that you've already published a few papers at your PhD. Yeah. What would be your secret sauce to have your papers accepted by the big players?
First of all, before your papers get accepted, you have to work really hard, because your papers do not get accepted unless you've done all of the experiments that are necessary, because you are going to have terrible reviewer twos. I'm not talking of reviewer one. Your reviewer two is the devil. They are going to ask you questions you have never imagined. And so it is very important for you to do every single experiment you can think of within the context of the paper you want to publish. Because you see, what we have realized, myself and my supervisor and other people I have published with, is that you think you have done a great experiment and you have written a great paper, and then they come with one very tiny, insignificant experiment that does not necessarily affect your work. And so you start questioning yourself, I'm so sorry, why should I do this? And then that takes up time, space, just a lot of things. So you have to ensure that you've worked hard enough, you've done everything that is necessary for you to do. And then when you now write the paper, you write the paper in such a way that it explains the work you have done in such a way that the reviewers and other people who are going to read it do not have a problem understanding what you have done. That's very important.
What do you miss most about home in Nigeria?
Oh, food. I'm so sorry. Food.
Food.
And I say this as an African and a Nigerian who eats a lot of spice. And food.
That is something every student goes with. Yes. They always miss mom's cooking or their country food. Yes. I miss my country's cuisine as well. Which Lithuanian dish would win you over?
Generally, apart from the fact that there's no spice, to be honest, I would rather do like a cepelini. Because it's really great.
The first dish I've tried was the Lithuanians' national soup, the shatabarshė, the pink soup.
Yeah.
It has all the ingredients that I don't like eating separately, but when you mix them together, it's just so tasty.
I'm very scared of trying cold stuff, so I rather stick to the warmer side of life.
What's the golden piece of advice that you would give to prospect students at KTU?
You need to work hard. You need to think for yourself. You need to understand the research that you want to do, because the problems that we have, or most students have, is that, oh, I'm coming for a PhD. But no, that's not how it works. Your research is important. How you want to do your research is important. Who your supervisor is also very important. If you do not put all of these into the baking tray, you can never have a very well baked cake. You have, very leftover looking cakes that had just been baked. And you need to ensure that when you are working hard, you are carrying other people along. Because for me, when I got here, it was very hard to communicate, because for very obvious reasons. But you get to learn that people want to help you. And so you have to allow yourself to be helped.
What's the most inspiring part of being a researcher, and what keeps you going on those days when experiments just won't cooperate?
The most inspiring part is that I get to tell people about my research, is that I get to walk into conferences and explain what I am doing. And I also get to go see people in high school or middle school and tell them, it will be lovely for you to come this way. I mean, it's all the same, but this way is really great. We need you here. And on days when my research does not cooperate.
You've been to 12 countries around your years of studying and other things. Why Lithuania specifically? What takes you to Lithuania to pursue your doctorate?
Apart from the environmental part of Lithuania is quiet. No, Kaunas is quiet. Let me not say Lithuania, because Vilnius is a whole different. Kaunas is very quiet. First of all, with my master's, Lithuania was cheap, and you can do stuff here. When it comes to the experiments you want to do, how you want to do them, who you want to do them with, that is great. But moving to the PhD part, there are equipments that I can use without, having to jump through mountains and clouds to get to them. And also, everybody wants to teach you stuff. Everybody, quite literally. You go to Santa Cavalli, everybody wants you to learn about stuff. You go to Faculty of Chemical Technology, and everybody wants to tell you, oh, don't do it this way. We think that this way will be best. Oh, no. We're not saying change it totally. Just move 1 degree like that. And everybody wants to explain how it would be nice to do stuff. And that is the most important part of being in Lithuania. Everybody wants to help you.
Okay? Lake or river?
Lake.
Okay. Coffee or water during late night? Oh, you didn't even let me finish it.
Coffee.
Okay. Describe climate change in just 3 words.
Rain. Heat. Extreme cold.
And cold. Okay. Kaunas or Vilnius?
Kaunas.
Kaunas?
Yes.
Okay. We've had people that say Vilnius. Best Lithuanian word?
Miele.
Oh
my gosh.
Okay.
It's so lovely. I'm so sorry.
The first thing that comes to your mind when you say Žalgiris, what would it be?
I would say basketball.
Basketball.
But there's also the swimming pool in the Žalgiris Arena, so it's a mix of both.
Okay. Would you rather be an entrepreneur or a researcher?
A researcher.
A researcher all the way.
Researcher.
A researcher all the way. I didn't even need to ask this question.
Researcher.
Would you rather travel or do some sports?
Wow. Traveling.
What are some of the hobbies that you can do in Kaunas?
Reading, swimming, dancing. There's a salsa class that I go to with my friends. What's that driving thing? Why am I forgetting the name? The one you...
The go-kart?
Yes, the go-kart.
The go-kart. So before we wrap everything up, is there any conclusory message that you would like to give to the people watching this video? Oh
yeah, Kaunas is a great place. Don't mind the people that like Vilnius. We like Kaunas. It's great. Doing a PhD is also really nice, especially if you are very much into research. You are able to build yourself, you are able to work with other people, you're able to understand the basis of other people's research, because even if you're doing a PhD independently, you are working with other people to understand how their work has affected the lives of academicians. And I know that I'm saying working with other people, it doesn't necessarily have to be physically. The authors you are going to cite their papers, that is working with other people, because if they did not do the work, you can't do the work that you're trying to do. Also, coffee is very important, and I'm not saying this as a joke. Coffee is very important, and you find out how important it is by the time you start working.
So, it is important for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the end of our podcast. Thank you, Maria, for being a guest here and answering the questions.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you in the next episode.